Hey, huh?
Who are the people?
It works. It works really
finally.
well
In
today.
your neighborhood. In your neighborhood.
I don't know
Say,
if you have.
who are the people
You might
in
have
your
some people
neighborhood?
who are Muppeteers in your neighborhood.
Glad you meet
Doubtful.
Probably not, but we do have one here. Patrick Bristow is with us. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Patrick works for the Henson Company, right?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about your loss.
Yeah, we're all very sad about the passing of Jane. She was a huge creative force from the very beginning of the
She was
Henson.
Jim's
Wife.
widow.
Yeah.
And
one of the original.
She and Jim created the
Yeah.
Muppets.
Many of the characters, many of the early routines. In fact, we have a piece in the show that we're doing tonight at Kingsbury Hall that was created by Jim Henson that she originated in performance with him.
Really?
And it hasn't been seen by audiences for decades, and we've recreated it. So that's going to be a little bit hard to get through tonight,
Yeah.
probably.
When the Muppets started in 1950,
When was-
You know, it's kind of a murky beginning there.
62 or whatever.
Right. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing, I can't call it Kermit, but it was a Kermit-like character
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
in black and white, and Jim was doing the voice,
Yeah.
and it was sounded kind of like Kermit, and that was in the late 50s, early 60s.
But the original idea behind the Muppets, and I think my first experience with them was Rolf on the Jimmy Dean show.
Wow, yeah.
It was more of an adult thing.
Oh, absolutely.
They
I
were
mean,
created for adults. Sort of.
Jim's early stuff was subversive and dark and violent and hilarious. His commercials for Wilkins Coffee, always involved one puppet getting horribly abused, and it was hilarious.
Let me look that up.
And then the Muppets have kind of become, although there are certainly many adult joys to be had watching the Muppets
Of course.
over the years, they become more associated with kids stuff.
Well, yeah, I think once the Sesame Street thing, happened, it was forever going to be intertwined with that. And that's one of the great things about our show is that for people that even grew up on that, now they can see Henson-style puppets, Henson-style puppeteering, but in a more adult setting with, maybe some naughtier scenarios and also doing improv, which adds to the freakish danger, of the performance. It's hard enough to puppeteer and then to actually improvise at the same time. It's
Now,
crazy.
so you are a puppeteer.
No, actually, I'm not.
What do you do with the show?
I'm basically an improv guy, and I started teaching improv classes to the puppeteers about 6 years ago or something like that. Said, hey, maybe we should do a little show for the other employees, and they did, and it was fantastic, and it's just taken off from there. So Brian Henson and I co-created Stuffed and Unstrung, and puppeteering is really hard. I've tried it a little bit, but I don't want to sully their ancient and honorable art form with my lame attempts.
Are you on stage during the show and working with the Muppets?
Well, he's the host.
Well, the puppets. We're not the Muppets. Technically, legal time. It's legal time.
Okay, let's do that.
The Muppets are owned by Disney. Those are a finite set of characters. We are the miscreant puppets, which are still Jim Henson puppets.
They look like Muppets.
Okay.
Well, some do, and then some strangely look like actual live animals and stuff. The visual vocabulary of our puppets is so wide. There's just all sorts of types in there.
I think this is really a cool idea. And was there so after Disney came in and they own all of those classic Muppets that we know.
They own everything, don't they? Now,
Disney, yeah.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Henson. The Henson family, what is it just called? The Henson
Jim Henson Company.
The
yeah.
Jim Henson Company has now struck out doing other shows with different puppets.
Yeah, different puppets, different style. We have these hot dog puppets that are fantastic. They're idiots. They're all idiots. And we're doing some video stuff, for the web with them. But yeah, the puppets are beautiful. We have about 80 of them on stage. My role, I think you asked earlier, is that I'm the host, the MC.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like the transitional species between human and puppet. Which is kind of perfect for me.
I can kind of see that.
Right? It's probably these sticks attached to my hands right now. And the guy behind me. Never mind. All right. So, we get suggestions from the audience, and then we do improvised sketches right on the spot. And I've got to say, the company's batting average with improv is really high. These are some very, very wicked, funny people.
So are the people that you've hired to perform, are they improv people first, or were they puppeteers first?
We have a mix. We've got people that were puppeteers who just, learned how,
Who were just
to
quick.
improvise, right? But they also learned a lot of the techniques. And then we've got some improv people that learned how to puppeteer, but that's the harder one. That takes
I
at
was gonna
least
say,
a year.
That's a very difficult thing to learn.
You'd think it wouldn't be, but one of the other things is that they have to look at monitors all
Yeah.
the time from the camera.
Yeah.
So when their puppet moves to the left, they're seeing it visually move to the right. It's a total mind thing.
Yeah.
It's a mind thing. I think you know what I mean.
If you have any questions, by the way, for Patrick Bristow, who is our guest, he's in town. Tonight is the show up at Kingsbury Hall, Stuffed and Unstrung. Tickets are available at kingtix.com. If you have any questions about Muppets and puppets and improv
Miscreant puppets,
miscreant
please.
puppets,
And I'm a natural ginger.
No, you
Yeah,
can
If,
talk about that.
anybody wants to ask about that.
about being a ginger, we live with one here in our studio all the time.
Oh,
So.
there you go.
801-35, and I'm still. I said I usually ask Richie, is our guest going to be a ginger? And I forgot to ask if you were
Well,
a ginger because
yeah.
you wouldn't be.
You have to
here.
prepare
right.
in a certain way.
Well,
if
no,
it's-
we just don't allow them. We don't allow gingers usually in here as guests.
Oh,
but
I see.
it's gingerism.
Oh, okay. Well, this is over. How
It's-
awkward.
No, it's fine.
The
You
tickets
managed
are
to
at
slip by.
kingtix.com. Come see the show hosted by a natural ginger.
You managed to slip by, so you're here.
Well, I pass.
801-359-9696 or 877-602-9696 are the phone numbers
These,
to.
I found the Wilkins coffee commercials,
Yeah.
and
Is it really visual or is there something?
I haven't looked at them yet, but boy, they're old.
No.
I mean, let's
Where was
Come on, they're not
Wilkinson's-
silent movies.
Where was Wilkinson's coffee?
Put your money in here and you get a cup of Wilkins coffee. I don't want any.
Yep.
Then push that button. How about a cup of
That was
Wilkins?
Frank Oz.
Yeah, that was Frank Oz and Jim Henson, clearly.
Huh.
They were Wilkins and Wontkins.
The Wonkins. for
Yes.
Wilkinsons.
And won't.
Yes.
Yeah, I
He
like it.
doesn't want any.
He doesn't want any, then he gets thumped on the head.
Patrick has also now done TV. You have been on as a character on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
Seinfeld,
Yes.
Friends, King
Yes.
of the Hill.
Yes.
Good Lord.
King of the Hill as a voice, I would assume.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were in The Longest Yard.
Yes.
And the first Austin Powers movie.
Yes.
So he's done all kinds of
Guy's
stuff.
been around.
Yes.
And he has an improv school
Yes.
called the
Can't you tell?
Improvatorium.
Yes.
He's brilliant, isn't
Yes,
he?
and.
Yes, and.
All you have to do is agree, and you look brilliant.
Yes, and
Oh, the and part's the hard.
I know. And he's in town with the Jim Henson Company's Puppet Up.
have to ask him about being on Celebrity Apprentice too.
What?
Survived
Which one?
What did you do on Celebrity Apprentice?
it. No, we did a challenge with the puppets, and the celebrities had to actually do like a 20-minute version of our show, the one that we're bringing to Kingsbury Hall tonight.
Okay.
And I was one of the judges with Brian Henson, so I had to like actually watch them do it, and then make critical remarks about their improv. And some
Who
of them
was
were
the
actually.
best?
What's his name?
Looks like
Sounds
Oh,
like yes,
God.
and.
Oh, I can't believe I'm
Can you do an impression of it?
Clay Aikens.
Clay Aiken.
he
Clay
did,
Aiken.
he did the
Clay Aiken.
best.
Yes, he was actually really hilarious. He was great with the puppet.
I watched
Sorry about all that dead air.
I watched
Had
that
a senior
season. I
moment.
remember that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was really, really funny.
And isn't he a ginger as well?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
Is he a natural?
Is that why he did so well?
You know what?
You
Just-
gave him
I
extra
know some people
points.
say that we're soulless or that we're witches or that we're some kind of. I can't comment on that.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I will not comment.
They'll kick him out of the club if he does. All right, Colin. Hi, Colin.
Hey, show, how's it going?
All right, go ahead.
Good. Hey, I was just wondering if you guys have ever studied with the Boonraku style of puppet.
Boonraku.
Well, Boonraku is a
is
a
that?
form of puppetry that requires several manipulators to manipulate one character. So somebody is just on the head, someone else is on limbs.
Oh, okay.
And in traditional Boonraku, you have to serve an apprenticeship just doing like a foot or something for 10 years, and then then you graduate to like a finger or something. I don't know. But we don't do that. But we are doing some tabletop puppetry because you sound like you know what you're talking about, sir.
Yeah, I've studied some Boonraku.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do a little tabletop puppetry with these girls that we used on the Grammys. These backup girls, singers. So they'll be the puppeteers will be wearing black velvet in the whole 9 yards.
What's tabletop puppetry for those of us not in?
Okay, that would be the kind of puppetry where you're seeing the entire figure from head to toe, and typically somebody is operating the head and maybe one of the arms or both, and then someone else is dealing with the feet. All right, so it's kind of similar to Bunraku, but not exactly.
Probably they're stick puppets. Move the little rods behind them.
For the hands and feet, yes, but for the head, it's it's just like a typical sock puppet kind of. Your hand is doing the mouth.
Now marionettes are an entirely different thing.
We don't use the M word.
You don't. Okay, so
no, I'm kidding.
No marionettes.
Watch, I'm gonna start a big fight between puppeteers and marionettes.
Don't even get him started on ventriloquism.
Oh, they throw down. Okay. No, marionettes, we don't use them, but yeah, it is a completely different technique. Although some of our people are versed with it.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Colin.
People just get into puppets and away they go.
They're usually homeschooled or neglected.
Have you seen those gigantic puppets it's a French thing?
Oh, and they're like out in the street
and
everything like that? Yeah.
Good Lord, those are amazing too. I don't forget what they're called, but
they're called the big French puppets.
The big giant French puppets.
Le poupée français grande.
Good enough for me.
Improv, right there.
Yes.
Improv.
Yeah. Yes, and Steve.
Hi, Steve.
We it.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Steve. Go ahead.
So I was wondering if you were the tour guide on Austin Powers.
Yes, I'm the VirtueCon tour guide. Yes.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I've been following your career for a good long time.
What?
Oh, thank you. I look more like the VirtueCon tour guide's father now, just so you know. So don't be thrown. Don't be thrown.
You do?
Oh,
it's
yes.
been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been a long time.
Well, come to the show tonight and you can see him in person.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see how I've held up or not.
There you go, Steve. Thank you.
KingTix.com is where you get the tickets.
801-938-8796 is the text number, but we'd like you to call 801-359-9696 or 877-602-9696. Pick a number and go with it. It's we can't say ask a puppeteer. Although you could probably run a pretty good puppet if you had to, right?
You know what? Just by osmosis, I've learned a few things, and I actually got to operate feet on a puppet for the Grammys a couple of years when we performed with CeeLo.
Okay, you are then.
But no.
Ask a host. Ask an
improv guy.
Guy in showbiz.
Now,
ask a 90s television actor.
Ask a showbiz.
We're going to need to take a break, but coming back, we've talked about. Let's talk about the show a little bit specifically because we've been saying that it's adult.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that aspect of it.
Let's.
Content. Right. Let's talk about content.
Let's get some Crevassier.
Yes, coming up in about less than 240 seconds.
We're back with Patrick Bristow, who was in town with Stuffed and Unstrung, the Henson family, the Henson Company show that's tonight only, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight only at the Kingsbury Hall. And this is brought to you by
Granite Credit Union. Get straight answers on the best rates around, starting at just 1.49% OAC. Go to granite.org.
Now, it says we've been talking about Stuffed and Unstrung a little while, and we've been running some ads for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it says it's adult, and it says here it's a mixture of uncensored comedy sketches. How adult is this?
Well, about 80% of the show is improvised, and then we've got some set pieces and stuff. But of the set pieces, I think one F-bomb is dropped in very hilarious context and just really quick. But we don't endeavor to be blue. We're not endeavoring to shock. Mm-hmm. However, when you get a bunch of adults in there and they get to tell the puppets what to do, what the situation is, what location they're in, what's the job these puppets have, guess what? We're going to be doing a scene about, doing Brazilian waxes. And, we can't guarantee that that's going to be,
So it's not scripted, so you can't tell people for sure what it's going to be, but it could go there.
It absolutely could go there, and it usually goes to Naughty Town. I'm going to just be honest. It goes to Naughty Town. Occasionally, it's gone to the mayor of Naughty Town's office.
Mr. Mayor.
Right? And sometimes it's been very very on the edge, but it's not just it's not a smutty puppet show.
Now people and now I know the difference between the shows, but I'm getting texts here, people saying I saw Avenue Q.
Yes.
Explain the difference.
They've made that
It's-
connection
it's-
before.
They've made the connection. It's very different.
Of course, Avenue Q is a
Yes.
book musical, like My Fair Lady or something.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
It's got script and it's got set music. Our show is improvised. So imagine the best way to put it is kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway meets the Muppet Show. If I can use the M word. So it's like a psychotic puppet party. It's interactive. Now, if somebody wants to shout out suggestions and get involved, great. We'd love that. We'd love it being a little bit chaotic. If somebody just wants to sit back and watch and enjoy it, that's fine too. No one's going to get called out or embarrassed or anything like that. But it is definitely more of an interactive, fun, unique, one-time only kind of show.
If you have any questions for our guest, 801-359-9696 or 877-602-9696 are the numbers. I think you'll find that audiences here, actually in Salt Lake, are really pretty improv savvy.
Fantastic.
There's a lot of improv done.
There is, yeah.
There's some going on in the next room right now.
In this town. I mean, really, there's like a lot of little improv groups around and high school groups that do improv shows on the weekends at high schools, and
that's fantastic.
So I think you'll find a pretty good improv.
Let's go to
Great.
Ashley has a question. Go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, I was wondering if the puppeteer is always doing the voice for the puppet they're moving around, or do some people do the voices and some people move the puppet?
That is actually an awesome question. Typically, the performers who are operating the puppeteer are also the voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now there are
Thank
some
you.
productions.
Sure, you're welcome.
There are some
Good
productions
question.
that you've seen that where there is a voice and a person just performing the puppet, but in the show it's all done live.
Are you the only live person on stage? I mean, the only human character?
I'm the only one billed as human, yes. But you do see our puppeteers. Oh, that's another thing about our show that's so cool. You see the puppeteers. We don't hide them behind a wall or anything. They're not, they're not in a Punch and Judy tent, okay? And so you can be watching the stage, see how they're operating the puppets, or you can avert your glance up a couple degrees and see these huge projection screens. So it's kind of like two shows in one. You can see if they're about to break character. You can see if they're looking at each other with daggers in their eyes, if they're pushing each other off their mark.
What am I supposed to say next?
Oh, that look, yeah.
I don't know where this improv is going. Look.
Yeah, I don't allow that.
You don't?
No.
As a really good teacher, none of your people would do that, right?
I find the best way to get people to be joyous and funny is to terrorize them. and dock their pay.
That's good.
Tell me a little bit about your school in L.A. and your theater in L.A.
Okay, well, Improvatorium has been around for about 5 years. We put more of an emphasis on acting in improv than just joking around. So we're really trying to, as an ensemble, to tell stories. And we've done costumed, full-length improvised plays like Death Lies and Alibis, which is improvised Agatha Christie. We've done one called Hitchcocked, which is improvised Alfred Hitchcock. That was much harder than we expected. And I come from a place called the Groundlings, though, the Groundlings Theater. And that's my alma mater. It's where I trained. It's where I performed and taught and directed.
You can tell many people that you are watching on TV today come out of the Groundlings.
Groundlings, are infesting every corner of the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I mean...
It's like you see one and there's 1,000 more in the wall.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Groundlings are everywhere. There might be one living next door to you.
Is there tension? Is there tension between the improv groups, like the Groundlings versus the UCB versus the?
Not amongst the people that have been there a long time and stuff. Because we all kind of get it. But yeah, it can sometimes in the improv worlds it can turn into almost like Protestant sects. Like no, we have the answer. Oh, no, you don't have the answer. We have the answer. You're doing it wrong. We're doing it right. And it's like, guys, we're grown-ups. It's play pretend.
There's enough improv for everybody.
Right? And there's different types of it and everything like
Those
that.
Second City turds are coming to town. We'll show them.
We're going to have a rumble, a yes-off.
How different are the philosophies?
Well, there's a popular movement in improv called long form where, they'll do a kind of a stream of consciousness kind of structures. And, anybody can clap in and end a scene and start a new one.
Right.
And that's really fun. It's very fast. And those people that are really diehards of that format tend not to like the short form improvised sketches.
Gotcha.
And now there's people improvising stuff that isn't necessarily even always funny, but is good storytelling. So it's really...
Dramatic improv. That's kind of a
Why couldn't you do that?
Well, you
though?
could, but any improv I've ever been to, it's always very jokey and
Right.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's different styles.
Let's see. Let's go to Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Go ahead.
Hey, I just got a question. To make it like idiot-proof, have you guys ever thought about reversing the orientation on the monitor so that when the puppeteers are looking at it, everything isn't reversed?
Jim's here to help you with your problem.
Well, no, he brings up a good point.
He does?
No, he does. But seriously. Okay, so here's the deal, Jim. There are certain people that use monitors and they flip the image so that it does work like a mirror. But Henson puppeteers learned how to do it back in the day before that technology was available, and they all had to learn that way. So they're hardwired now. So the new generation of Henson puppeteers also learned it that way. So it's kind of like one of those traditions. It's like, don't eat pork because it says so not to in the Bible. But it's like, oh, hey, we can make it safe now. Oh, we're still not going to eat it. It's that kind of thing. It's just a tradition. We're still not going to eat the bacon.
All right, Jim, thanks.
We like our backwards puppets.
And someone has a question that says, do you know...
Did I just offend the Jews?
You did.
I think you did, yeah.
It's a kosher
man,
thing.
they're
good.
Good for you.
I love kosher.
Here's a question. I don't know if you have the answer to this, but on Fraggle Rock, are the Gorgs puppets or are they people in costumes?
Oh, my God, I don't have the answer to that. And my cast is going to just slap me and go...
They will know.
Oh, they'll know. Are you kidding? They know how many stitches are in,
Are they Muppet nerds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
Cool.
They know everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're fascinating people. They really know everything.
So they would also know the what was the name of the Great Heap?
Oh, the great Pavard.
Great Pavard. That's it. On Saturday Night Live.
On Saturday Night Live.
The first season of Saturday Night Live had Muppets.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really good, actually. What was that?
It was a pile of trash.
And it was for adults.
Scred was like a vulture-y monster kind of thing.
And then there was a big...
I have zero memory.
The Great Pavard was a pile of garbage or something like that.
Yeah, they would do little bits, usually kind of like in the host area set, with the host.
They were quite adult.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it was Jim returning to that kind of subversive, stuff.
I guess improv is really, it is a big world because you could consider what we do here 4 hours of long form.
Absolutely.
Puppets?
Improv.
Oh.
And we are puppets. We're puppets of
You're
the
your
man.
own puppet.
Yeah.
I was wondering where your left hand was.
I'm sorry you saw that. The show is Stuffed and Unstrung. Been touring the world. It's played off-Broadway, now going throughout America. Brian Henson's company, the Henson Alternative. It's the edgy side of the Jim Henson Company. Named the top 10 stage show of 2010 by Entertainment Weekly. Tickets are available for tonight only.
Yep.
Kingsbury Hall. Get them at kingtix.com. Patrick Bristow has been our guest. Thanks for stopping by.
Again, people are asking specifics about how certain puppets work. Probably go to the show tonight and ask the puppeteers because they're more nerds than you are.
Absolutely. Come see the show and all things will be answered. All things.
One last phone call here. Yes?
Hello?
Oh, hi.
Hi, this is Elmo. Hi, Patrick.
Oh, hello. You have a cold right now?
I just kind of got up.
Jeez.
But I was wondering if you were hiring.
It's a pretty good Elmo.
Well, now of course that would be a children's television workshop, and we're just the Henson Alternative miscreant puppets.
Very different, Elmo. You don't want to work with these guys.
And I believe there is a new Elmo.
Yeah.
There is.
They've stopped looking. They've got a new one.
Sorry.
I believe there is.
All right. See ya.
All right. Have fun tonight.
All right. Thank you. Go back to bed.
That's a pretty good Elmo.
That was actually I was for a second I thought I was being punked by somebody I know.
Yeah.
All right. It sounded like that.
Thank you, Patrick. All right. The show is tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.